Afternoon world. I don't know about anybody else, but it's getting late in the year. It's not going to get any drier, so I think it's time to get it on. Right, there's a couple of things I need to do before I make this machine. One is take that off, because we ain't going to need that, because it's got its own over there. The other thing I need to do is I need to lock the swing arms. For the moment they're on float, we don't want that. So that's got a bit there. Spin it round. Put that back on there. He's locked on that side. This is one of those jobs you tend to remember to do after you've put it on, which is the wrong time to remember to do it. Okay, right, next. I've been putting this job off and putting it off because it's still really too wet, and there's going to be a certain amount of mess made to do it, but some of my hedges, especially on the roadside, do need cutting, and the roadside at least I can get to. We need to get ourselves lined up. So with that I need to pull these pins through. So you can go back up there for a minute. What do you mean it's not a hammer? Of course it's a hammer. That's two. Right, and the prop shaft, I did actually grease it last year before I put this away, so you still well and truly grease it. This can be the hard bit sometimes. So that off there. I'll do that later on. That pin's out, that pin's needs to come out of there. Get in there. Right, that's that. Pin back in. Right, I need to let you forward a little bit. Stay. So basically, all these different bits and bobs here help to set the machine up rigid on the tractor, or at least it will by the time I'm finished. Famous last words. I'll have the Stilson's on there, I think. Pull him level. There's a proper pin in here for doing this, but I can't find it. It's obviously dropped out. You can use a screwdriver, but it ain't going to give you the leverage of this thing. That's that bit then. Right then, we just need to set the height on here now. So I'll take that one out there as well. Now I'll turn the tractor on and I'll adjust the height of this on the buttons at the back. Right then, last job, get the control mounted. I found the best place on this tractor was actually on the back of the passenger seat, because you're not going to be having a passenger in here if you're edge trimming, I can promise you, unless it's a small four-legged one. No prizes for guessing where she goes. Okay, so PTO on, that's on, that's on, that's on. That's connected up. Put on 540 economy. Come on, in you go. There he is. Shall we? Okay, a couple of little adjustments to make. One, two, three. So now what I'm doing, I'm taking all the weight off the machine and putting it on the top link on here, so everything is stabilised. There's a bit low to the ground there. I might try and pick him up one. I'll get my hammer. Just for the safe side. I don't need that bit for a minute. Right, that's all my arms set. I've actually adjusted the height and brought it up a little bit higher because this foot was a bit too close to the floor really. So basically the machine's locked on. All the weight of the machine now is being held by that casting up there on the top link, and the whole thing is held pretty rigid actually. So that's tight. I ain't gonna get any tighter than that. So, machine's on. I might level him up a little bit more. And the last thing, which I have already done once and recorded it once, or I thought I had, except the camera wasn't on, is quite important. So just in case I didn't record it, I'll do it again. When you've got a hedge trimmer on the back linkage like this, and he's set up on this A-frame, not on chains, it means that once he's on there, there's very little movement up or down. But with the power of the hydraulics on the tractor, and bearing in mind I've got 80mm assister rams on this, so you pick up some weight, we need to switch the basically switch the hydraulics off, because if I accidentally push that button and the hydraulics are still set to lift, I'll bend something. In fact, if you look at the back of there, some of you will already noticed, there is a bent rod out there. Now, I don't think I did that. I believe, pretty sure, that somebody borrowed this a couple of years ago to do a bit of hedge trimming. Actually, I did a bit for my dad, and I think it got bent then, because I don't think I did it. Anyway, so on the control under here, on the case, there's 3 simple buttons on here. First button is the height, so I can set how high I want to lift the arm. So if I've got a limit on the back and I don't want it lifted right up, or I don't want to lift it too high, so say I've got something that I just want to lift out the ground a few inches, I can set the height of the arms, how far those lift arms lift, on that button there. Middle button, I can set the speed, as in how fast the arms come up or down. So say if I'm tedding or rowing up, you want to lift your machine out of the ground quick, back in the ground quick. Again, not so fast for me because I've got 80mm assister rams and there's a lot of oil in them. So that's your speed, and then the last is your draft control. Those of you who do ploughing and stuff like that will know exactly what that is. Those of you who don't, this control here, basically there's a sensor on the bottom arms of the tractor. On some tractors it's on the top link, but on this one it's on the bottom links. And basically the tractor is sensing your wheels, your traction and everything else. And if it's feeling slip when you've got the plough in the ground, so you're ploughing either too deep or maybe you've hit a stone or something like that, the draft control on the top link, on the bottom links will feel that pull. And basically it will tell the hydraulics that there's an obstacle there, or you're spinning and you need a bit of help, and it will actually lift the implement a bit out of the ground. And you can set how sensitive you want that on this control here. Well, draft control doesn't matter on this, but what I have done is I've set the lift right to the floor so it won't lift at all, and I've also put the speed, see the padlock on there, right round to click. Basically the hydraulics lift arms in the back are now locked, so even if I press this button up or down, nothing. So in theory I can't bend anything, in theory. Okay, grease. We'll leave that there and we'll turn the lights off. We don't need them anymore. Right then, grease. So do you remember me at the beginning telling you how I was locking these arms? I'll show you a bit closer now. So this tab is actually a pin that goes right through and has a washer on the other side. If you pull this out, turn it around and go up, you've got some float. So you've got some movement on the swing arm up and down. So if you're mowing or anything that wants to follow the grain contour, harrowing, anything like that, you can use this. But when you've got a machine like a hedge trimmer where you've got a load of weight being thrown out that side, if you have both of these on float, the whole thing bangs and rattles about, and if you're working on banks, that can actually be quite dangerous. So when you're putting the hedge trimmer on, first job is lock your linkage. Really important. Right then, grease. He was actually greased before I put him away last year, but I wanted to put a bit more on him. Oh, but put my glove down. No, I can't find it. What do I do with that? Gremlins. Oh well, let's do without. And yeah, I ran out of grease in the machine, so I've come back and got my other grease gun with the cheap Chinese knockoff quick grip, so which actually works really well. I don't like having a dirty end. Yeah, plenty in there too. That's it, we're ready to rock and roll. Apart from the fact I've got somebody coming in to pick up some wood chip. We could start over the road though, I can see it from there. Let's do that. Right, shall we? I'm probably going to get about 5 minutes done. There's a truck going to turn up for wood chip, so still we'll make sure everything is running smooth and not making any nasty noises. Flashing lights, more lights, that light, that light. Let's do it. Ready?
thing I like about this case tractor, great big windows, makes Hedge trimming easy. Putting this thing on my dad's tractor on the 695 is a nightmare. A great big pillar right in the way.